everybody, and welcome to the Dungeon Rundown, doing it from home edition. I'm your host, Trisha Hershberger, and I'm so thankful that we all get to gather and do this once a week. We get to hang out, we get to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, we get to talk about the Dungeon Run, and really just hang out with my friends that I would otherwise not get to see in this time of being #alone together. So thank you to all of the Dungeon Runners. Thank you to all the watchers of the time stream for being here. You're amazing. I see Direwolf87, Sparkwing, Dyson Capes, Bruce Clacky. Hey, how's it going? So Sean Patrick, Fail Waffle, so many familiar names. Thank you all so very much for being here. In addition to having you guys here this evening, we have our esteemed guests, Jeff Cannata and Morgan Peter Brown, joining us tonight.
Yay! Hey!
Welcome, guys.
I feel esteemed. Thank you.
Yeah. How is your shelter in place going?
It's fine. It's we're doing all right.
Day by day. That's all. We're all in it together. Day by day. We gotta do what's right. We gotta stay home.
I will happily echo what you said, Trisha, in that I'm really happy for this community and for this show and the fact that we're able to keep doing this and keep connecting with all of you and keep getting to see my friends and more than this friend.
Direwolf wants to know if you're broadcasting from Jared's basement.
That's correct. Please send help.
It's so beautiful. What does that lovely photo of Jared say?
It says "All My Love, Jared Kajak," and they all is in all caps, which I thought was inappropriate because he is a man with a family, but he seems to be implying that his
there's
heart
no love left. There's no leftover love. You have all of it.
I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I mean, I thought that it's surprising that he actually went there. I guess
it's funny to me that you would give someone who has all your love a photocopy of your picture.
That's right. No, black and white, grainy photocopy. That I think was just a result of quarantine. The fact that the Kinko's wasn't open.
I think it's sexier that way. Jeff, how's your shelter in place going with kiddos?
Oh boy, something. I know you have a child as well. It's not easy for the children to never leave the house. But we're hanging in there. We're doing what we can. It's stressful. I'm going to be honest. It's a very stressful, hard time, but we're all in it together. And like Morgan said, it's unbelievably wonderful that we get to keep making dungeon runs and dungeon rundowns. So
yeah, absolutely. So speaking of unbelievably wonderful things, the charity auctions are now officially closed.
Yay!
Yay!
Incredible.
Amazing.
Thank you so much to the community for banding together and doing this for all of these awesome charities. What were the final tallies?
Oh gosh, I did the math. Surprise! To be a little over $13,000 total, which is so great.
Heck yeah,
I know. It's amazing. It's an amazing outpouring of support. All of us, as you know, had individual charities, so it's not all to one charity. It's spread over a lot of really worthy causes, and it was very personal to all of us, and we're so overwhelmed that the community came together like this and really showed such incredible support. That's great.
It was something that we had wanted to do, and we thought, we know how great you guys are, but we wanted to do, and we thought could go well, and the fact that it went so far above and beyond even what we expected, and the fact that we're going to be writing checks to for all these great organizations for not small amounts of money is really amazing, and especially at a time like this, it just gives so much hope, and so. Thanks to all of you watching and all of our community and everybody, and to Dogmite for giving us that amazing equipment.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, this stuff is such high quality and so gorgeous. And I hope it's the beginning of a whole bunch of charity episodes that we'll do over the lifetime of this show. I would like to continue doing that. And it felt great. And it just a testament to how awesome the community is for the show.
Yeah.
We should definitely make this a semi-annual or annual thing or whatever, but definitely do it again. I do want to say thank you to Dresden Dark, Amber 72, and Witch Space for the digital love. You guys are awesome. And Jeff, I believe you have an announcement on the future of the Dungeon Run as it stands in this interim.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, you made it sound so official. I just wanted to kind of fill people in on what's happening tomorrow night with the show and the foreseeable future as we are in this new reality, this new paradigm of working from home. I was so pleased to see how people embraced the watch along episode last week. That was something that we put together very fast because we just were so bowled over by all of the new restrictions and new things that we need to do to help each other and do the right thing. So it was very much thrown together, and kudos to all the folks at Caffeine and all the production staff for making that happen in such a cool way. It was really fun, but we want to get back to playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
So that's what's going to happen tomorrow night. We are going to be playing our game with our characters. You're going to see James and Ugo and Lily and Fahima and, well,
no, not Civ. No, yeah, all. That's it. That's four. It's four people. That's correct.
I know. Civ will also be there. We are all continuing to work from home and do the right thing and practice social distancing. So we're still going to be not exactly what our show was designed to be, but I think we're putting together a pretty awesome version of it. And I'll have to admit, I'm being a little selfish, and we are not continuing the main story where we left off. If you remember the last episode we did in the studio, we were walking into the fortress of the four former forges, which is literally something. Yeah, that's literally something I've been thinking about and planning for a year. It is a big moment for the show, and it's lots of things. And so I'm being a little selfish, and I want to do that when we're back in the studio, and I want it to be how it has been in my head for that whole period. So the solution that we've come up with, it actually was the cast came up with. Jessica had a great idea, and we're running with it, is to do some side adventures with the same characters that are going to be maybe several different, we'll see how long this situation lasts, but they are going to flesh out the world of Ein in some interesting ways. I think you guys, if you've watched the show for a long time, I think you're going to really dig where we're going first. And if you've never watched the show, this is a great place to jump on. If you have friends maybe that are curious about the show, but they think that, 37 episodes is a lot to jump into something, or I guess we're up to 39 now. This is an awesome place to start. So I'm taking this as an opportunity. The show's going to look a little different. It's not going to be, in the awesome set that we usually have, but it's still going to be the awesome characters you love doing awesome stuff. I'm pretty excited about the idea that I came up with for where we're going, at least first. And I think it's a really cool opportunity to introduce folks who may find themselves with more time and want to see some streaming entertainment to leap into the show. So if you have friends that haven't seen the show, maybe this is the time to say, hey, tune in because we're starting fresh. We're starting on a new adventure, and I think it'll be cool.
Awesome.
I like Moon Dork's comment saying it could be in a truck stop bathroom and we'd love it.
Well, a lot of people in the Discord said the same thing, that they really aren't there for, I mean, they love the high production value. They love the models. They love the cool stuff, the maps and all the cool stuff that we do. But that's not really, that doesn't mean that's not the show if we don't have that stuff. And I agree. I'm not trying to say that that's not the case. But trust me when I say that when we get back to our main quest, you will be glad that we did it right. So it's gonna be great. But again, this isn't to say that tomorrow night and the next few episodes, however long this takes, are less than.
Of course.
It's gonna be a really cool adventure. I think I really want to say what it is, but you'll know very early on tomorrow night what it is, and I think you're gonna dig it. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, I have questions.
Yeah.
I may dodge the answers, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah, you're allowed to do that, totally. Dr. Sparks asked, will this still be Force of Good and Force of Evils?
Not tomorrow night.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out how to do that in our new reality. Yeah. There will be advantage and disadvantage, so you can still do that. And we're starting fresh for a whole bunch of reasons, most of which are logistical. But So when we go back to the main quest in the studio, anybody who's purchased those and they haven't seen them show up in the game yet, we still have those logged and they'll still show up in the game. But there'll be a fresh slate of advantage and disadvantage if you would like to support the show in that way and purchase those and influence the game. And hopefully we don't have to do this very long, but if we do this, for week upon week upon week, the production team is actively working on ways to introduce the forces back into the game in this work from home environment. But for the short term, we'll still have balloons to show your love. We'll still see the love. In fact, we'll probably see it even more because the players will be able to have the stream open live as they're playing.
Oh man, that's true. Ooh,
and we will have advantage and disadvantage. I'm a little scared of how it's all going to work, but we're going to figure it out and as we go.
Grim Faded is very excited.
Yeah, and Spirited Breed wanted to know if the characters will be staying at the same level.
Yes, they will be staying at the same level. They will not have some of the things that they have now that that they've acquired. That will all be explained tomorrow when we start, but it will be the characters at the level they are now with the experience that they've had, but doing something new.
Wow.
Okay, great. So it's safe to assume that this is not a prequel.
Define prequel.
Okay. You know what? We can be vague about that. That's all right.
It's not safe to assume anything, sounds like.
Awesome. Well, everyone in chat is super excited. Knick Knack of Doom spinoff, says JT.
Yes, it's just a series of people stuck in the Knick Knack of Doom.
And we're just watching people eat dinner the whole episode.
Which space suggested Jorl the good years?
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, no. Oh, amazing. Okay.
I am Robin. Nicole said Winkberg party. Okay, so we've established there's a lot of different places you can go with this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys are continuing the adventure with the same characters, even though it's not picking up right where we left off. That's okay. It's like watching Star Wars in machete order. You just need a little...
I will say that I find it fascinating that the universe seems to just have the biggest cliffhangers in mind for when your eye incident happened, Jeff.
Yeah.
Stopped right as we reached the debrief.
Yeah.
And like we left people for 4 weeks, 5 weeks on that image, and now we're leaving people just as we're walking into the 4 former forges.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. You thought we planned it, and I assure you, we did not.
Well, you know what? The Carson, thank you for the digital love, says never looked forward to a Wednesday more.
Oh, well, that's
amazing.
Wonderful. And honestly, that is truly the goal here. I guess I should have said that at the top. The goal is to escape the world for a few hours, to play with our friends, to keep meeting, even if we can't meet in the real world, to still interact with you, the audience. That's the most important part. That's what the production team at Caffeine has been working tirelessly in the last 2 weeks to try to preserve, is this feeling of community, this feeling of coming together. We love that the show is interactive and that it involves you. I think, without spoiling anything, what we're doing... Oh, there's an error. Okay. You still got me, right? It says
you're good. You're here. You're here.
Said there's an error.
We got you.
Without spoiling anything, what we're doing over the next few weeks is more born of the audience than anything we have done so far.
God, man, you're torturing me over here.
So it is going to be another example of how big the viewer impact is on our show, and I think you're gonna like it.
Wow.
I hope.
Okay,
Amazing.
well, everyone, including Katie and Jessica, are real confused in chat. So
yeah, literally no one knows what we're doing.
Yeah,
Alex Albrecht doesn't know.
Idea.
Our producers don't know. Nobody knows yet, well, except me, what we're doing. So, and I love the fact that they all trust me so much that everybody's jumping in with both feet. But I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna try to make it as exciting as the main quest, but it will inform the main quest in ways, but also be a great jumping on point for people who are new. I'm really excited about it. I've gotten pretty jazzed about it. It's all coming together pretty fast. I wish I had like another month to prep it, but it's going to be wild. I think it'll be great.
Jared said, we all know Jeff's going to get drunk and pass out. Is that true?
No,
spoilers.
That's right. We did say no spoilers. Perfect. Awesome. Well, again, Jeff, I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it. And do we know, or at this point, if they're going to be archived on YouTube after the fact?
Oh, I hope so. I believe that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
week's watch along is. So yeah, I would assume. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, excellent. Oh, I'm so excited. Yay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Jeff. So guys, make sure that you tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific time to watch the Dungeon Run from Home.
Woo.
Special episodes that may or may not be prequels or side quests, or we have no idea until Jeff tells us tomorrow on Caffeine. Make sure that you watch that. Okay. So since we're all from home, the past couple weeks, I've been doing a little show and tell segment, because we all have all of our awesome fandom stuff around us, so we can show and tell whatever we want. And before we get into show and tell, because show and tell, I've been saying that way too much around my 3-year-old since I am self-isolating with a 3-year-old. So the theme for comment of the night tonight, for all of you dungeon runners and watchers of the time stream out there, is to help us come up with a segment name for show and tell. So think of ideas all throughout the episode, put them into chat, and our wardens of the Dungeon Rundown are going to choose the best comment of the night, or their favorite comment of the night, to win some Dungeon Run swag. Keep that in mind and get those comments going throughout the night. And again, it's a theme. It's a rebranding the show and tell segment. So now for the show and tell segment, yes, I have a shirt that says Lawful Good on, because that's my real life alignment. But I have an extra special show and tell for you guys tonight. Ooh. And it is someone, it's a person, it's someone who is part of the greater Dungeons and Dragons community on the internet. He is also a fantastically talented musician. It is my honor to introduce you guys to Jason Charles Miller.
Yay!
Oh.
Hi, Jason. Welcome to the
Jason!
Thanks
for having me.
Yay! Jason and I got to play lots of tabletop RPGs together for years on a show called Foreververse, which was kind of like tabletop RPG and Quantum Leap had a baby. So we like hopped from system to system, like kept our same memories and core characters, which was really fun. And Jason also writes music about Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo! That's right. Probably a lot of people know that I wrote all the theme songs to Critical Role.
Yeah.
And had the good fortune of writing a lot of music for TV and movies and stuff like that. But D&D is always near to my heart. And what was fun was like when I was hosting the show Starter Kit, I got to write the theme song to my own show. So that was always fun.
Wow.
But this song I want to play for you guys today is kind of an exclusive. It's only been performed twice. And I wrote it with Christopher Lindsay, who is a vice president at Dungeons and Dragons. Like he works for Dungeons and Dragons. So we wrote this fun kind of ballad actually called Hey Dungeon Lady. So I thought it would be sort of appropriate for tonight.
Sounds amazing.
So should I
people are very excited.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay, so here's an exclusive for your show, not available in stores or anywhere. This is called Hey Dungeon Lady. Demons walk the halls, you got so close. What happens when they're gone? Traps were laid and glyphs were cast until a clever rogue came along. I've been all across this dark land looking for the reason I still stand. Do I fit into your plan? Hey, dungeon lady, won't you let me in to your heart? Hey, dungeon lady, don't you tear my world all apart. When the monsters all go home and you're left there all alone, I will be the one who's waiting when all of the rest have gone. Dragons dwell in caves beneath your halls, golden gleams on their scales. Once the worm is dead and gone, gleaming gold always fails. I've been all across this dark land looking for the reason I still stand. Do I fit into your plan? Hey, dungeon lady, won't you let me in to your heart? Hey, dungeon lady, won't you tell my world all apart? When the monsters all go home and you left there all alone, I will be the one who's waiting when all of the rest have gone. Yeah, I will be the one who's waiting when all of the rest have gone.
Hang on. I have props.
Wow, that was
Jason, so many people were tossing roses, digital roses.
Awesome.
there was digital horns going up.
I love that.
So
I
tell us
saw
what
it
that
a little
song
bit,
is
but
about.
it was distracting to look down, so I was just trying to concentrate.
For sure.
So
that was
again,
amazing, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, that's so good. So you said you wrote that with the vice president of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, exactly. We wrote it for GaryCon last year, which actually is a good segue because GaryCon was obviously canceled this year because of COVID-19.
Right.
But we're taking it all online. So this Friday, I'm going to be on the GaryCon channel, and we're going to be doing a game with Satine Phoenix, Sirens of the Realms. We're bringing Sirens of the Realms back.
Amazing.
For GaryCon. So be sure to check that out.
That's so
awesome.
exciting.
Yeah, they're doing everything. They're trying to do everything digitally, including games and panels for this weekend. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching some of those. That sounds amazing.
That's incredible, man.
Morgan, you got a chance to play D&D with Jason at Celebrity D&D this past
We didn't get to play together, unfortunately. We were one table apart.
We're so close.
I know. We were like, scheduling. Dang it. So Jason and I have become fast friends, but we have yet to roll together.
Right. We've only coffeed together.
That's right. We've coffeed. Yeah. That's correct.
I feel like.
And now we've digitally rocked out. Which is the 2 stages of friendship in 2020.
Well, and kind of the other way that Jason's intermeshed in this whole dungeon run world is Jason, your album Songs in the Key of D&D was co-written and co-performed with Amy Vorpal.
Woo!
Oh, actually slightly off. So
okay.
Amy and I wrote a song called wrote an album called Songs from Foreververse. Which dealt with all of the songs that we played at the beginning of Foreververse. So Amy and I have written about 35 songs together.
Wow.
But we actually met after she recorded Songs in the Key of D&D. So even though I have accompanied her live on some of her songs from that album, it's Songs from Foreververse, which is under our duo name, which is called The Deadly Grind, because Vorpal is deadly and a miller grinds grain. So The Deadly Grind.
Wow.
And that is available everywhere. So definitely check that out. That's on all your music.
Awesome.
Music
That's
services.
Very metal. I like it.
Yeah.
And the songs are so not metal at all.
What do you mean? Amy Vorpal is so metal.
She should do a metal album. I'm going to try to convince her of that.
I would buy that immediately. Yeah.
Yay. Well, thank you again, Jason, for the performance. Why don't you stick around for show and tell?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Because I'm sure Morgan and Jeff have some cool stuff to show off too.
Follow that, everybody. Yeah. What is your show and tell? I brought a person to sing.
Dang it.
Yeah, I have some dice.
Well,
I have a
actually,
really
you don't.
cool map.
That's really true. I don't.
Jeff has no
I
dice.
have no dice.
So true.
All right,
We
so
might need
Jeff,
to
what
do
do you
like
got?
an emergency dice drop off at Jeff's house.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we need that. I need to stat.
Make it happen.
What do I have? I feel ridiculous now saying what I was going to show, but I'm sitting here in my home office and I was just looking around at fun things that might be fun. And I thought, again, ridiculous in the context of what the real talent that just happened. But I thought I would show you mini me.
Ah!
That's
Oops,
pretty
wrong
awesome.
direction.
What? Wow.
This is for back when we were doing the Totally Rad show. This is me made out of aluminum foil
What?
that a fan made. Oh, sorry. A fan made, all of us, Alex Albrecht, Dan Trachtenberg, and myself. Obviously, this is when I didn't have facial hair, but it's one of my most prized possessions. It's an extraordinary piece of art.
It's made out of aluminum foil?
It's all aluminum foil.
And
They
then
also
painted?
and then painted. This person has done it for all kinds of sports player, people, NFL players, NBA players. It sent them to them, and he sent along a DVD that was like the making of how he did it, and it's extraordinary to watch. He crumpling up aluminum foil, wadding it up, and molding people out of it. And so this is
who knew, man?
Aluminum
That's
foil
amazing.
Jeff Cannata right here.
That is so cool.
That is
so he's in my
very
office.
cool.
He hangs out over here and watches over things. And my kids come in and then point. My daughter, who can't even say data, points at that and goes, ah. So, yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I have to top both of those two incredibly untoppable things. I don't have an action figure of myself. Let's see.
But you have this lovely picture of Jared Kajak on your
I
wall.
do. That's not, I mean, that's just there all the time, though. I mean, that's whatever. But I've featured this on my solo stream from time to time. I have a James scented candle from Cantrip Candles, which is a library scriptorium smelling candle, which is nice. I sometimes burn it when I need to write James character notes and get into the James headspace. I wish I was kidding. That's actually true. I do that.
When you hang out with James, the first thing you notice is the smell.
Is the smell, which from Cantrip Candles smells like parchment, aged wood, and leather. It actually smells really good. Yes, yeah. There was this other one. Speaking of things given by fans, so Indigo Stitch on Caffeine and on the Discord, Brian sent me some advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition trading cards.
Oh, wow.
He sent me a few sets of them. And this is one that I have. This is Shalot, the 3rd level necromancer.
Wow.
These are, what year is this from? This is 92. 92. Yeah, I have a bunch of these, but this is one of my favorites. It's just like a cool looking necromancer and some birds and stuff. But yeah, they say advanced D&D. Those are amazing. And then I have the 2 pieces of Dungeon Run fan art that I currently have in my office. Soon to be more, I'm sure. But I have a Scott Braytek's incredible original James artwork, which I love. And then of course I have to have the Who Else Elliot Vardo flock fight Vardo drawing, which I have framed and on my wall in my office. I'm sure I will be adding more fan art soon, but those are the ones I have right now. So yeah. Yep.
Morgan, I am checking out this Cantrip Candles
they're amazing
right now. What do you think Dungeon Depth smells like?
Probably
death,
probably stone and moss and stuff like that.
Did you say Dungeon Depths or Death?
Depths.
Depths.
Yeah,
I thought you said death.
The one that Jared's basement does, Kim says.
Like Jared's basement.
There is one that they have, which is like the smell of a bakery, and it smells so much like bread, it's sort of strange. Where it's sort
That's
of
dangerous.
like, it's like buttered popcorn Jelly Bellies, where it's like, that tastes a little too much like buttered popcorn. That unnerves me almost. And then this is only remotely so. I have my Game of Thrones themed scotch that I have tonight, which I am drinking at the moment. House Targaryen, Cardew Gold Reserve. So yes, this was a gift, and I do enjoy it. And
that's awesome.
Jared, I'll save you some. Don't worry.
Very, very cool. Jason, if you could have a candle that smelled like anything from D&D, what candle would you choose?
Ooh, my first instinct is Fireball, but then that's probably not great.
It smells like a candle.
The result of a Fireball probably smells more like Dungeon Death.
Right.
But maybe Goodberry.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, the druid spell. Yeah. What would Lily's hypnotic pattern smell like?
They have one here called Brine Water Tides. I could see that one for Lily.
Kind of salty and a little sweet.
Yeah, kelp and ozone, saltwater and cedarwood.
Kelp and ozone. Wow.
I want one that smells like a gelatinous cube.
Complete with a skeleton inside.
I feel like there is a smell to that.
For gelatinous cube.
Yeah, right. Just leave Jello in your. Just leave Jello just sitting out for too long, and you'll probably get what that smells like.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. Well, Jason, thank you so much for stopping by the show. You have been an absolute treasure. Thank you for gracing us all with your talent. And
thank you for coming, Jason.
Amazing.
For having me.
Yeah. So fun. So, Jason,
I'm gonna get back to my cabins.
Your cabin in the woods, yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I said I'm going to get back to my cabin in the woods here.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
Came to us all the way from your cabin. Jason, if people want to find you and see what else you're up to, where can they follow and find you online?
Well, my name is Jason Charles Miller on every major social media site except for Twitter because my name's too long. So on Twitter, I'm Jason C. Miller, but everywhere else, Instagram, Facebook, and places like that, I am Jason Charles Miller. And on Caffeine, though, I'm JCM. I was able to nab that one quick.
Nice.
Awesome. Yay. Well, thanks again, Jason. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
You too. Have a great rest of the show.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay. Trisha, that was awesome.
That was so much fun. I don't know. I feel like there are so many awesome people in the greater Dungeons and Dragons community.
Yes.
That especially while the Dungeon Rundown is in this format where we might be able to get people we otherwise couldn't get in studio, that this is a great time to have some friends stop by.
Was that the first official non-cast member guest of the show?
Alex, if you don't count Alex Albrecht.
Oh yeah, well he's associated with the show, so yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Amazing.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, we kind of touched on this a little bit last week, but I don't know about you, but I keep getting tweets and messages from people online asking how they can play D&D and continue their adventure, like Dungeon Run is, still playing and continuing the story, but from home at their house. So last week we had kind of brought up that Roll20 was a thing, but Ron said he didn't have the most user-friendly experience with it. So I wanted to ask if either of you have either used Roll20 or any other online D&D tools that you can recommend to people who are trying to scratch that D&D itch while they're self-isolating.
I haven't used Roll20 myself yet. I use D&D Beyond quite a lot, but I don't think you can run campaigns through that like you can Roll20. D&D Beyond is I'll sing its praises all day, and you can build encounters on there too. But run the encounters. but it's not like set up to do, where you're showing maps and you're showing dice rolls and stuff like that. So if you use like D&D Beyond along with something like Zoom or something like Google Hangouts and just made sure everybody had their dice or a digital dice roller, you could do it that way. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, because I definitely want a DM for some friends that I've promised a game to. And mostly I think you're just going to have to rely on good old theater of the mind. But yeah.
Okay, so Chad is actually throwing out some great suggestions. TK421 says Hangouts has dice rolls. It has like a digital dice roller.
Really?
I did not know that.
Cool.
Thank you. Let's see. Direwolf said Roll Bob. I've never heard of Roll Bob.
Never heard of it. I'll look it up.
But I will look it up as well. And the Carson said D&D Beyond plus Skype is where it's at.
Got it.
We're actively investigating solutions for the show. So I'm sort of at the beginning of my journey into figuring out, there's a place called D20 Pro that I was looking at, and
cool.
Roll20, and there's a few of them that offer similar functionality or features. And I just at the beginning of that process, so I don't have any expertise to give you, but I can tell you this, something you might not be thinking about that would give you a very D&D-like experience. Play Divinity Original Sin 2 as a co-op game. And it actually has a DM mode, in fact, where one player can play as sort of a DM, but you can also just play through the story all cooperatively up to 4 players.
Wow.
It's really slick.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought Divinity Original Sin 2 was even up to 8, because you can do multiplayer co-op, like online multiplayer co-op.
Maybe. I thought it was only 4, but you may be right. I haven't tried it more than 4, but it is slick. It's got a really smart implementation for a video game of how you can do that. And yeah, it's got this DM mode too that lets one of the players kind of place things around the world and be more in control.
That's amazing.
And it's also a great game. It has a rule set that's not exactly Dungeons and Dragons, but it's very close and very fun.
Right. We talked about the turn play versus the pause and
right.
Yeah, like plan action for style that it uses. Last time, what was? Dang it.
Okay. Divinity Original Sin, 2-player local, 4-player if you do online co-op.
Right.
So you're correct, Jeff. Up to 4 online. And then go ahead, Morgan. What were you going to say?
Well, no. So just this is such a question, but of like, do you need to have played Divinity Original Sin
No.
to have played? Okay, I assume.
Not at all.
No.
Yes, my lack of gaming is showing.
Yeah, not at all. And so I actually saw a bunch of viewers in chat. Direwolf, Sean Patrick was one of them. I think Dyson Cape shouted it out too. Said Fantasy Grounds, which I had never heard of. So I just did a quick little Google search over here on the side. And it says prep less, play more. Fantasy Grounds is the most supported virtual tabletop with more official licenses than any other virtual tabletop. And it does have Dungeons and Dragons as its like primary officially licensed system, first listed.
Fascinating. I'll give this a look. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
World, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, D&D Classic, Deadlands, lots of stuff on here.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. That's great.
Fascinating.
Okay, so that's another thing to try. Thank you guys. For anyone in chat who's used Fantasy Grounds, tell us about it. I want to know.
Awesome.
And then D&D Online. Jeff, did you ever play that?
Oh yeah, back a long time ago. I did.
Would you recommend that over Divinity or no, just because it doesn't age as well?
It's been a long time since I played Dungeons and Dragons Online. Divinity Original Sin 2 is, I think, one of the best role-playing games ever made. So cool. I have a hard time putting anything above that. It's very, very well done. So yeah, that would be my top choice.
Cool.
Yeah, Brashneer says, I've been transitioning my group to Fantasy Grounds this week. We're excited. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Now I'm totally going to check that out. That sounds awesome. Thank you guys so much for that heads up. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to share tonight is something that we spotted on the fan art section of the Discord. And I believe this may have been previewed before somewhere on the Dungeon Run or the Dungeon Rundown, but never actually seen in its entirety. And I always think of this as a celebration of one of Jeff's MVP D&D moments of all time. So let's go ahead and watch a little video by Ben Wesserick called Captain Blowhard's Legendary Run Through Castle Run.
Woo!
Yar, welcome ye to the tardy plunder. I'm Mervis Blowhard, the captain of this vessel. I'm notorious.
Yes, especially in these seas. Is this ship fairly adept at moving through reefs?
The tardy plunder? Of course. You know, this is the ship that made it through the castle on the Isle of Rum, and I only took 11 sips from me pint. I guess you could say I did the entire castle rum in less than 12 pint sips.
Oh.
Boom! Boom!
This is Jeff doing this.
The only reason I did this show!
Jeff is going to leave now. That's been the Dungeon Run, everybody.
I'm going to slow clap it now. I'm going to slow clap it now.
Oh, the only reason I did the show, as he says.
Right. That was one of those things. I was talking earlier about the Dwarven Fortress of the Four Former Forges and how long I've been thinking about that.
Sure.
That pun I was thinking about for equally as long. I mean, I was thinking about that pun for many, many months. And I have this experience as a DM where sometimes there's like these little road marks, these landmarks that I'm imagining doing and imagining how the team is going to react and just fantasizing about how it's all going to play out. Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? How is it going to go? That was one of those moments where I was just like, someday I'm going to be able to say this joke. Someday we're going to get, because we were supposed to get to the boat way earlier. And the boat was finished as a model for months and months and months. And it was sitting backstage because we went to Turles, and then there was an option of at one point of like go to Turles or go to the boat.
At the end of episode 6.
Yeah, and we went to Turles, and so there was all the Turles, and there all the shanty town and all that stuff, and the boat's sitting backstage, and Jeff Cannata is sitting at home going, when am I going to get to say my fun joke? And then I finally got to say it. So
that was, I was talking about that moment recently on the Discord, that fork in the road moment, because now knowing stuff about James that the audience knows, that end of episode 6 is one of those moments where I did not want to go back to Turles for reasons that are known now, because I didn't know what was waiting for me back there. And so when everyone's like, oh, well, should we go find Claudiette, or should we go to Turles and talk to the scholar? And I was trying to be subtle about it, but if you go back and watch, you could tell that any suggestion of going back to Turles, I was immediately trying to go, I don't think so. No, I don't think we need to. Nope, definitely not wanting to. And then we asked the amulet, and the amulet went, Turles. And I was like, damn it. I was like, I guess we're going back. This is going to be fun. Oh, God. Yeah, but I that was one of my, wanting to ask you about, Jeff, was like moments of the show that have like really, what are some of your moments of the show that have kind of that have gone in directions you didn't expect, or thrown you the most in terms of stuff we've done or reactions to things that we've had or anything?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, that was one, it may be hard to believe now, but that was one where I was in my head going, please go to the boat. Please go to the boat. Please go to the boat. Because I knew what the boat was going to be. I didn't really know exactly what Turles was going to be.
Yeah.
I knew things that would happen there, but I like hadn't built the city yet. I hadn't like thought, what are all the locations of the city? How does it work? All that stuff. And then you and I had lots of emails back and forth about talking about your backstory and Turles. So I hadn't done any of that legwork yet. So I was just like, go to the boat. And of course, we didn't go to the boat. So
we would have never someone pointed out, we would have never gotten to Jorel if we hadn't gone back there. We would have gotten to him much later.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That is true. That week in between episode 6 and episode 7, I think I sent you like a dozen emails, because I was like, I need to make sure I am knowing everything walking into this, because I was a nervous wreck going into episode 7, because I was like, we could walk out of that portal and James could get arrested. I don't know what's about to happen.
Katie in chat wants to know if she's the only one who doesn't constantly email Jeff.
I I just sit waiting for Katie's emails, and they never come.
Ron doesn't. I was told I was the only one who did. But yes, I don't know.
The emails from Jared have picked up briskly.
I bet. And they're all just further descriptions about how attractive Civ is, and like, make sure you describe it this way.
I'm like, we need 3 pages just about his calves. We really do.
That's right.
But I will say, all kidding aside, I love how interactive this cast is, and how they do bring ideas to me, and getting emails from everybody and talking things through, and everybody is committed to making the best story we can.
Yeah.
That's not to say we plan things out, but it is to say that everybody is, if they have an idea, I love getting it from them. And I love, hearing how they feel about things, and what would my character know, and what wouldn't, all that stuff is just so great.
Yeah, I tend to present everything to you. I mean, and I've talked about this before, but like, more than anything, I want to avoid anything feeling too forced. And so normally when I have like an idea, I'm like, here's a potential thought for something that James could do, or an interaction that he is feeling. But having said that, I end up getting surprised by the game, or surprised by the other players, or something like that. And it never takes the shape that you expect it to. Or it's like, or it's a thought about a backstory that I think might be revealed this way, and then ends up being revealed in a completely different way, sometimes weeks later or weeks earlier, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's all sort of, and people ask, what do you think Jeff's going to do next week? Or what do you, and we've said this before, but it's like, I've given up trying to guess. And so I just sort of ready myself and just kind of sit here and go like, okay, I've got all my stuff ready. And then whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm just going to, like tomorrow now I am just sitting here. I'm going to prep. I'm going to be ready. I have no idea what's coming. I'm really excited now. And so I can't wait.
I think it's going to be a fun one tomorrow. I'm definitely nervous about it, but I'm excited too.
Yeah, me too. For sure.
Yay! And I hope we get lots more dad puns in the future. That would be great. Seriously, that was like such a D&D MVP moment. Like, Morgan, just in general, in your gaming history, can you think of a moment that you had a D&D MVP moment like that?
Oh man, gosh. That is tough. I think this is the opposite of an MVP moment. For a friend's birthday once, he wanted to run Tomb of Horrors, the original Tomb of Horrors from the first edition D&D, which is like one of the hardest like setup maps and everything, just traps that'll kill you like that. And I remember playing that game with friends, and someone did something on their first turn which disintegrated them. It was like, first move, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna give away Tomb of Horrors, but and they were dead immediately. And it was 10-foot pole at all times. Like when you play that, you're like, approach everything of like, and some person was like, I'm gonna go through that, and it was like, cool, you're disintegrated.
Yep.
And it's like, nope, thanks for playing. So that was a moment of like, oh no.
Yikes. Bikes.
I'm trying to think.
So funny.
What about you, Trish? Do you have any MVP moments yourself?
Please.
I did have like a level 1 character crit while fighting a dragon in like, I want to say it was like the first adventure with this new party. And we definitely had a character that I'm trying to remember. It was years ago, but probably a barbarian.
Sure.
Leroy Jenkins Dawn in there, and here we are as like 4 level 1 characters fighting a dragon like idiots. And I got a critical roll on a ranged attack. I want to say it was maybe a short bow or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the DM, just to save everybody, was like, and you hit him right in the head, and enough damage, and so I was like, wow, story-wise, that's real impressive.
And you're all level 10 immediately.
And everyone survives this stupidity. Yay. So funny. But that's what I love about D&D is like you get to tell these crazy stories And it's so collaborative that no one knows where it's going to go.
Right.
Not even the DM, you know, you're like, get on the boat, and they go to Turles. And it's crazy to think that like the boat prop was ready to go that whole time just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's
it
so
was
many times.
It was like 2 months later that we got to it or something like that. Yeah.
There's so many times where, you know, Greg and his team are so amazing at making those props, where I've gone backstage and I've been like, I'm really sorry I told you to rush it. I really thought they were going to be there this week, and we don't need it yet. You know, he's like, we worked all night to make sure it was ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, that's what's so fun, the unpredictability. I mean, someday there'll have to be a fun retrospective on the season where all of the, like, I give Bernardo and the production team a little rundown of what I think each episode is going to be, and they're almost never right. And it would be fun to just go back and map like what I thought was going to happen. And sometimes, you know, we'll get to intermission and Bernardo will be like, we haven't got past your first bullet point on the rundown yet. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's just what happened. They, you know, that's the fun.
Hey, we have to talk about feelings.
Yeah. There are times when, honestly, Bernardo will tell you, there are times when I put in like, cast is probably going to RP a long time here. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Jared, we killed clams. Or, you know, sometimes one of us pushes an achairai off a cliff in the middle of a fight. Other people get upset about it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. That's knowing your players, though. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then, the cast rolls 30s, what Carson says, where it's like, where Jeff was like, I did not expect you to get into the city that easily. Oh boy.
No, that was definitely one where I was reeling a little bit. I think, did I tell that story already once? What on the show? You can stop me if I did. But that was one where I literally said to myself before we started, I'm in complete control over whether they get in or not. There's nothing to worry about. Like, I have complete control over whether they get in or not. And then Katie rolls a 30 and I go, I guess I got to let them in.
30's a 30. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't think you have told that story on the show. I'm glad that you did. All right. Well, I can't believe it. We're less than 10 minutes from the end of the show. I'm getting told we need to move it on.
We have
some fan art from this wonderfully talented community. Thank you all so much for sharing your talents with us. Tonight, the fan art that we want to show off is some character designs from Balinor Borderland and background and Photoshop done by Son of Joxer.
Woo!
Put it all together. And what I really like about this fan art, as we put it up on screen, is that it was a collaboration. So It's not just one person. This was really the community coming together to make something awesome. Look how cool Ugo is.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Amazing.
Yeah, Son of Joxer's been doing these kind of backgrounds or maps, whatever, since very early on. I think they did one of the flying lodestar that was something like the exploding lodestar that blew my mind early on. Oh, look at my boy. I love that purple
Your
smoke.
outfit is on point.
Yeah, that's right.
So cool.
Got the books on his hip. That's right. Those look kind of like Ugg boots. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's good. No, the rest of it's amazing.
These are legitimately Hero Forge models that you can go in and these are the actual characters that you can print up as minis, but using those data files to create 2D art, it's such a clever idea.
That's right. Uggo boots, as Ron points out. Not Ugg boots, they're Uggo boots.
The characters were designed on Hero Forge by Balinor Borderland, and Son of Joxer put them in these settings. So cool.
Yeah. It's a really cool idea. Oh, and look at her; she looks fantastic.
Fahima has Meep.
Look at Meep.
Meep is looking awesome.
Yeah, nice.
I love it so much.
Yeah,
so cool. Thank you guys. As always, if you have fan fiction, fan videos, fan art, whatever type of talent you want to share with the community, you can do that on the dungeonrun.fandom.com or you can put it in the Discord. We have a fan art channel there. I believe we also have a fan video channel there as well.
Correct.
So show that. And these are all different ways that the cast and Jeff and everyone who works on the show will get to see what you've created, and maybe we'll get to feature it on the Dungeon Rundown. which is always so much fun to do. So thank you guys so much for sharing that. Before we get to the end of the night, I wanted to give a little opening for audience Q&A. So this won't be an official lightning round Q&A, but just a Q&A for you guys to get any questions you want for Morgan or Jeff out while we have them here before the end of the rundown. So
what if a character dies in the side story? There's a first one right there, Jeff.
Bearded Breed 89.
From Bearded Breed.
We shall see. We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
What if indeed? What if indeed?
Oh, no.
Dazed and Confused says, can we still send stuff to the cast? Probably, but I don't know when they'll get it, right?
Right. We would not be getting it immediately, but we certainly are grateful for all the stuff that is sent, and we appreciate it very much. But we're not going to the studio. Obviously, we're all staying home and practicing social distancing. So hopefully sooner rather than later, but who knows?
Yes. I saw Scoundrel had asked if we're doing anything special for the 1 year anniversary episode.
Oh my goodness.
That's coming up.
I knew that was coming up. It's last week of April, right? April 24th was our first show. So it's
I would like to hope that we are all back in the studio and going into the Fortress of the Four Former Furges, but I don't know if that will be the case.
I know.
That would be nice.
I know. Let's hope.
Crazy. So you guys have been professional D&D players for a year now.
Wow. What a world we live in so many ways. It has been that long. Yes, that's true.
It's pretty great. Pretty lucky world.
I saw someone ask if you actually play that guitar behind you, Jeff. Do you? I've not heard you play.
I do, but I will not be picking it up now that we just saw a professional singer-songwriter on the show.
Another time.
I literally had the thought while he was playing, like, I need to move that.
That thing? That's a prop. It doesn't work.
Also, thank you to everyone who keeps putting in show and tell names for the comment of the evening. We will get to that in just a second, but yes, those are really good. I've seen some ones that I absolutely love. So keep those coming.
I like Cher's question. What's the next shirt we want to see? I mean, I look, I'm biased, but I think Warlocks, what are you going to do is kind of funny. Just because it's become such kind of a recurring theme for James.
Noble GM suggested that you use that guitar for an NPC bard.
Oh.
Again, yes. We had Amy Vorpal on the show.
With a ukulele.
I mean, I'm happy to play and sing, but I do not have the talent of those fantastic individuals. So,
it's not about comparing. It's about sharing your love and talent.
I can't play any instrument, so you got me beat.
Oh, an R.I.P. Clams shirt was suggested.
That would be the saddest shirt ever.
I like how you said sad and I said hilarious. Here's the difference. I'm the person that bought the Hodor doorstop.
Oh God. Well, yes, but you wouldn't have to sit next to Jared and watch him cry every time he saw someone.
Oh, so sad. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your questions. And again, thank you for your show and tell rebrand comments. We do have a winner tonight. Drum roll, please. And our comment of the night goes to Noble GM for Let Me Dungeon Run and Get Something. So from here on, show and tell on the Dungeon Rundown will be known as Let Me Dungeon Run and Get Something. Thanks to Noble GM.
Dungeon Run and Get Something. That's really good.
Thank you for that. Noble GM, watch your inbox. We will hit you up to figure out how to get some Dungeon Run swag on your body.
Well done.
Awesome comment.
Yay.
Okay, so Jeff, can we quickly recap what is going on for tomorrow night's Dungeon Run? Same time, same place?
Same time, well, not the same place. Same time, same place for you. Different place for
here.
Us.
Right. Caffeine.tv/The Dungeon Run.
6 p.m. Pacific time, caffeine.tv/The Dungeon Run. Perfect time for you to tell your friends to check out the show, especially if they have some extra time and are looking for new entertainment. This is going to be a different adventure with the same characters, but it's going to inform the world. It's going to inform the main quest. I think people will dig it. You'll understand what we're doing in the first few minutes, and I think it's going to make you excited. It's gotten me excited, so I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope you check it out.
I was excited, and now I'm like 10 times even more excited hearing what everything you teased tonight. So I'm like, I'm ready to go.
I'm so stoked. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for being on the show tonight. Do you have any parting words or shout outs or anything you want to promote before we go?
I will say that OSD, the charity that I helped raise money for, is going to continuing to do a drive through the end of the month of March. Then all of it will be matched by Xbox. If you go to my Twitter or on the Discord, you can find a campaign that I'm running to continue to raise more money for them through the end of March as well. That's going on still. I'm on SWAT, which is going to come on right after Dungeon Run tomorrow night on CBS. If you want to see me be a slightly skeevy hotel manager tomorrow, 10 p.m. on CBS, SWAT.
Of course we do, is the answer to that.
Yeah, so that should be a fun night of me tomorrow.
Morgan's gonna make sure we wrap. She's gonna be like, Jeff, TikTok.
All right. We got to get out of this. I'm gonna teleport out. I'm gonna thunder step out of this fight, and I'll see you guys later.
All right, Jeff. Any parting words for everybody?
It's just a really stressful time, and I'm so glad that people are doing their part, staying home. Don't go out. Just stay home. Watch our show. We hope that we can help and give you some company. Yeah. Check out the Discord. If you're watching this and you haven't checked out the Discord, it's an incredible community of people that can help you get through tough times, especially if you're home by yourself. We're in there all the time. There's really wonderful people there. We're building this community. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for them. I'm grateful for them in my own life. And I hope everybody watching can find some solace in that. We'll all get through this together. And hopefully won't be too long before we're back in the studio doing more episodes of the Dungeon Run there.
Amazing. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Well said, Jeff. All right, everybody at home, thank you so much for tuning into tonight's rundown. Make sure that you stay safe, wash your hands for 20 seconds, keep your social distance, do all that great stuff, and tune in to caffeine.tv/the Dungeon Run tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for the Dungeon Run, and then right back on that same channel Tuesday at 6 p.m. next week for more Dungeon Rundown. Woo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.